Hello, 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 and thank you once again for tuning in to Riding the Wave. You are listening to the Urban Surfer Glenn T. I hope everybody's getting to where they're going safely. You guys are thinking about some of the things that I'm saying, and you remaining productive in your day. So how's everybody doing out there? For those of you that do want to catch my show, I am featured on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, SoundCloud, YouTube, Spreaker, and Spotify. More venues to come. Reach out to me also. Facebook is rtw.podcast. My Twitter account is Glenn_town. And my Gmail is ridingthewave.podcast@gmail.com. And for all of you podcasters out there, if you want to feature me on your show, you want to feature on my show, just go ahead and reach out to me. I don't bite. I love the podcasting world. And just hoping to get in touch with some of the guys out there that's doing it the best, right? But just kind of jumping into things, I just want to really humble a couple of people out here. There's a lot of things out here that people go through, and it makes them feel either they're like sliced bread or they're the worst of mankind. So this is a little bit for everybody. It's kind of like a neutral ground. But today's topic, which is actually a question, is how replaceable are you? I know people don't always think about that. You hear it in music. People talking about you could be replaced at any time. All types of things pointing towards how people are expendable. But really, how replaceable are you? How many times have you told somebody that, right? So now it's just time to make that self-assessment. That's what this show is about today. And again, these are my perceptions, my opinions, my realities. My mission is only just to change one mind a day in a positive way. If I've done so, wonderful. Otherwise, I'll go back to the drawing board because I just love to do it. And it expands your horizons, right? Makes everybody's thinkers out there. Sometimes you just have to open your mind up and just see things in another way. So as far as the question, it stands, doesn't it, right? How replaceable are you? Right? This could go for you in friendships, intimate relationships, jobs. It pretty much can go with anything that you feel significance towards in your life, right? But how replaceable are you? Have you ever even thought of that? For all of you guys that, think that you're sliced bread, or you ladies think that you're God's gift, how replaceable are you? We both put one leg in our pants at a time, right? So some people do have stronger qualities than others, but doesn't necessarily make you irreplaceable, right? Everybody's unique, so, how replaceable is a unique person? Let's just think about that. Maybe some of the skills that you possess can be replaced and be offered by somebody else, but as an individual, how replaceable are you as an individual? You're a single human being. You're so individual that your fingerprints are just unique, right? We're given a lot of unique features. These are things that, keep in mind when we're thinking about how replaceable we are, right? So kind of just want to jump into it, being that we just touched a few realms where this could apply, right? Relationships, jobs, friendships. What makes you an asset, right? What actually makes you an asset to the next person? What makes you an asset in that intimate relationship or that friendship that you have? Or to that job that you commit yourself to all the time? Are you really that irreplaceable? How about you people that feel you look so good, right? Does that make you an asset? Does that make you irreplaceable? Are you the only beautiful person on earth? Because a lot of times you find people like, oh, I look good. You ain't going to find somebody like me. Or, I don't have to put up with this because, I look too good to be going through this situation. Let's just pump your brakes first and foremost, right? Because beauty is only in the eye of the beholder. You may look awesome to yourself. You may look awesome to a few people. But not everybody. That's a consideration that you have to live with. Right? So even if you feel irreplaceable to someone else, you're a drop in the bucket. Got to think of it that way. Right? Kind of humbles you a little bit. You're not for everybody. You're for somebody and even for some. But you're certainly not for all. And when it comes to looks, guess what? There's people that always looks better than you. And then beauty's only skin deep, right? And then beauty fades with age. Right? So I hope you guys aren't feeling that, you're irreplaceable because God's granted you some nice features, or you look symmetrical to people, or you're easy on the eye, because that certainly doesn't make you an asset. So I think, for those people who feel that, they just look so beautiful, flowers are beautiful, trees are beautiful, forests are beautiful, right? Imagine how beautiful the natural landscape is, but yet a forest fire can destroy it. Heavy winds can bring it down, right? Avalanches can change the face of a mountain. So just be humble in that regards, because you're not an asset because you look a certain way. Looks can always change, and so does your value if you hold on to that perception. So what about another example? What makes you an asset? What about for those people who are just completely ambitious, right? And they just feel that whoever they're around, they're just the best thing that's happened to them. They wouldn't have had anything without them. Have you ever met a person like that? They help you out in a couple areas of life, and then they start to think that they've done everything for you, right? They're such an asset that you'll never find somebody like them again. How many times you've heard that in your life? Right? Any questions, suggestions, comments? Again, for everybody that's just listening in, this is the Urban Surfer. You are listening to Riding the Wave. And today's topic is just how replaceable are you? Right? We just covered a couple of realms: relationships, jobs, and friendships. But what makes you an asset? Certainly is not looks, right? What about your ambition? Ever met that go-getter, right? Man, you never seen somebody like that before. Everything they touch turns to gold, right? Until they lose their ambition. A sudden death or illness comes to them, or, just a life problem that kind of puts them on their knees. They're not ambitious anymore. What if your health prevents you from chasing the worldliness, right? What if you have mediocre health and you really just can't do anything, right? But at one point you were ambitious. So I guess you're expendable now because your health has changed, right? You wasn't expendable before, but now you are because you're no longer ambitious. What if you went through a depression and you don't want to get off the couch anymore or something? Now you've just become replaceable, right? So if ambition was a reason why you were not replaceable before, or the reason why you were an asset, certainly not anymore, right? So we can't really base, what makes you an asset based on ambition and looks. We just know these things are kind of faulty ways of thinking. However, they do consume a lot of minds nowadays, especially in the new millennia. What about a good one, right? Something that might be a little challenge, right? What about a person's level of intelligence? That's a good one for those sapiophiles, right? Those people that love the mind, right? They're so attracted to the thought process, and a person's intellect. Now, that's a hard one, right? Because sometimes intelligence can certainly make you an asset, right? But it all depends. What do you spend your life trying to find out? What's worth it? Are you a theologist, sociologist? Are you an archaeologist? Are you a scientist, a mathematician, an engineer? Possible assets there, right? But are you truly an asset? I mean, for the time being, society can definitely use you, right? But what if you just choose not to do these things anymore? The intelligence itself, right, makes you the asset, not the action behind it. So I can see intelligence actually making you an asset. I mean, to be honest with you, if you know things, it may be safe to say that you're worth something to somebody, even to yourself, regardless of where you at, right? Because that's what really an asset is. Like, if you're truly worth something, regardless of where you're at, What are you providing to society? Because society is universal. It's not what we can just do for ourselves, obviously. Got to remind people that sometimes. What about the heart itself? What about your heart? People with good hearts, right? I can totally see them being an asset. Somebody that's just a giving person, empathetic, supportive, honest. These things are these are the qualities of the heart, right? Certainly an asset if you ask me. This is what makes a person irreplaceable, right? Their level of intelligence, their heart, their religion and their morals, right? We may disagree with beliefs. We may not all believe the same thing, but I can certainly guarantee you this. Whatever you do follow in a positive way, I'm sure those morals transcend into other belief structures as well. So if you have a good set of beliefs and your morals and values are intact, you're certainly an asset, right? Because you're part of society, you're part of humanity where you'll reach out and care for someone selflessly. You'll give back. You'll prevent from harming others. These are all things that actually makes you an asset, right? Irreplaceable. These are real values. I want you to ask yourself, right, for all of those people that feel that they're totally irreplaceable. Because I feel to some degree everybody is replaceable. Skill sets, the things that they offer, you can find this in other people. What makes you non-replaceable, right, is the fact that you're you. Nobody else can be you. That's it. So for all of those people who think they're sliced bread or God's gift, I want to ask you an honest question. And again, for those who are just listening in, this is the Urban Surfer Glenn T. You have been riding the wave so far. And today's topic is just how replaceable are you? And if you want to reach out to me, rtw.podcast is my Facebook, Glenn_Town is my Twitter, and ridingthewave.podcast is my Gmail. So this is the question for all those people, right, that are just God's gift, sliced bread, etc. Do you make people truly happy? For those God's gifts, do you truly make people happy? Like when they're around you, they just light up. And I'm not talking about infatuation or, the fact that, you stimulate well or whatever the case is, right? But are they truly and genuinely happier when they're around you? Are you missed? So when you're not around, do people say, hey, where's such and such? Where's such and such? I can really use their advice right now, or I could really use, their honesty right now, or their shoulder to lean on, or somebody that makes me laugh. Are you missed? Ask yourself that. You can tell when people miss you because they're excited when they see you. Always. So again, Mr. or Mrs. Irreplaceable. Do people look up to you? Do you have a lot of people that look up to you? Not followers on Instagram or Facebook or anything like that. But do people look up to you? Like when there's a real crisis in their life, they're calling you. Or when there's a new way to be, they would say, what does that person think? Or what would that person do? Like, do you ever get that sense from people? If you say, I don't know, I'm not sure, or not really, then that's actually a wake-up call. Take that as a sign. You're not actually as much of an asset as you think you are. Ask yourself, are you a reward? Are you? Are you a reward, or are you just a treat? Don't let that go over your head. Are you a reward, or are you just a treat? Right? Because it can tell you real quick how replaceable you are. Do people work to be with you? Earn your respect, your trust? Do people always try to make good with your presence? Or are you just a little something for the time being? Hey, it's cool to be with this person, man. When I'm with them, I just kick it, have a little fun, and hey, I'm off this. I'm gone. Is that you? After you have a great time with a person, they're just hard to find right away. Sometimes you find yourself looking for them after, not so much them looking for you. Then it's probably safe to say that they're replacing you or at least working on it. You wasn't what you were cracked up to be, right? So with all of that in mind, right, hopefully this has been a humbling feature for some people. Just kind of something to think about, right? How replaceable you actually are versus how you think you are, right? In your relationships, I mean, do people really look up to you? Do they miss you all the time? Are they ecstatic when they see you? What about your job? Are you getting new projects all the time? Are they setting you up for new training? Are they pushing you and telling you to go in different directions, right? If not, I mean, it's a good sign to say that you may not be that sliced bread you think you are. Well, how about in friendships, right? Do your friends always look you up? Do they always want to talk to you and ask you for advice? If not, guess what? Rude awakening. So don't really walk around thinking that your looks or your ambition is getting you there. Maybe your intelligence can start to open the door for you. Certainly your heart and your values. These things make you irreplaceable. People just need you after a while, right? So what if you're really not the type of person people need around? What are some ways just to kind of start you up? Right now, we already talked about it. Intelligence is a good door opener. Having some type of good heart, or, you have some morals and religion in you, some type of value structure. These are all good ways, right? But what are some other ways that makes you a keeper, that makes you that asset that you think you are? One, be realistic. Set no expectations. Just be flat out honest. I mean, there's nothing to hide. Nobody's going to judge you. And you shouldn't be judging anyone else. Actions are right or wrong. We all know, actions are right or wrong. These are the things that we can judge, the actions, not the heart, right? Be realistic with people. This is one way that a person will keep coming to you. If you're just a genuine person, they say, hey, I could open up to that person right there. They're genuine. They're the type of person that I want to talk to, right? Also, just be honest. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with everybody else. That's kind of being in the realms of realistic, right? Don't set expectations for people that they can't hold up. Just when you're looking at outcomes, don't look at it in a dreaming state. Look at things practically. So be realistic, be honest. And, just ultimately just be a benefit to all. Be a benefit to yourself. Be a benefit to others. And be this way all of the time. They say practice make perfect, when nobody's trying to be perfect, but practice definitely makes a peaceful place. Keep that in mind. Again, you have been listening to the Urban Surfer Glenn T. I want to thank you again for riding the wave with me. For all of you guys that stuck around, just be productive, be safe, and just think about some of the things that I say. Outside of that, get to where you're going safely, and just be mindful of your actions. Take care, and thank you once again.